So, is the Pixel 4a the best budget phone of 2020? Stay tuned. Now, starting off with the body of the phone, we have a polycarbonate build, which is just a fancy word for condensed plastic, but honestly, it works. I feel like the phone itself definitely doesn't feel cheap, and compared to other phones at $349, this is definitely the victor. I feel like the only other phone that is even near this price tag that would beat this hardware is probably the iPhone SE2. That does have an IP rating. This phone does not. So obviously the iPhone SE2 wins straight away on that. Not to mention they use premium materials like glass and aluminum with their devices. The buttons on this phone are also very tactile and responsive, giving you a very apparent click. Something, however, I would love to see for this phone as far as the hardware goes is different varieties of colors or backs for this phone. I love the matte black color and that sexy mint accent for the lack of fingerprints it leaves, but I feel like Google should have definitely had more colors at launch. Now, I'm not saying Google doesn't already have plans to drop more colors for the Pixel 4a, but so many people have purchased the device already that would have chose another color if they had the option to. I just feel like a lot of people are gonna have FOMO if they decide to drop new colors later on. But honestly, I think there's a reason they only dropped one color. I feel like Google in the near future will be dropping some sort of inexpensive backplates or thin cases for the Pixel 4a that shows off different colors and designs. I feel like they purposely made this phone black for this reason, so let's hope this comes to fruition. Now, Google has also been dropping some ads recently that I feel have been a little fishy, and they've been dropping them on art. They've always went about art and expressing yourself, so I feel like Google is going to be dropping something for this budget phone that is also inexpensive but lets you customize your phone as well. Now onto the main specs, we have a 5.81 inch 1080 by 2340 screen. This is going to be an OLED screen, and I feel like this screen looks absolutely beautiful, to be quite honest. We have some really nice colors, and the screen is going to be easy to see in direct sunlight. We also have a main camera that is 12 megapixels, and you're able to shoot at 4K at 30 frames per second. We also have 6 gigabytes of RAM with the Snapdragon 730G, and a 3140 milliamp battery. Two key features missing, which I don't feel are a big deal, is an IP rating of some sort of water resistance and wireless charging capabilities. I honestly don't use those features anyways. Definitely tell me in the comments down below how you guys feel about that, but I do not care about wireless charging or any sort of IP rating. Now, as far as the Pixel 4a performance goes, I really do not have any issues with this device whatsoever. The average person going from the Moto G stylus or an LG Stylo to this device, you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. This device works perfectly with high graphic games. The only game I really had any sort of problem with was Fortnite, and that's because that type of game is made for a system, not a mobile device. I even had problems with that game on an iPad and one of my flagship phones as well. But as far as other games go, this phone has been running them absolutely perfectly. I've been playing Call of Duty on this device. I've been playing some real racing on this, and everything works perfectly. And as far as the day-to-day tasks go on this device, you're going to have no issue. We have obviously Android 10.0. This is a stock Android device. We have a Snapdragon 730G processor in here with 6 gigabytes of RAM. So as far as like your day-to-day task goes, you're really going to have no issues whatsoever. You're not going to have slowdown unless you have like 100 windows open or something like that. The other thing about this device is we have 3 years worth of updates. So we have all the way until Android 13. So that's really cool. It's cool that Google did that. I think that was a really nice move. Now, I don't know if people are going to have this phone for 3 years. I feel like there are some people, but most of all, I feel like it was cool that they offered those sort of updates, especially for a device that's only $349. Now, as far as the camera goes on this device, I think this goes without saying. This is going to be the best camera on a budget phone to date. For our single camera, we have a 12.2 megapixel f1.7 aperture wide lens. We do not have a dual lens. I believe they were going to put one in here, but it looks like we only have one in here. Really funny because the same design was taken from the iPhone. I still think it looks pretty fresh, but some people think differently. Now, with that 12.2 megapixel main camera, you are going to have some amazing shots. The color is going to be great. The saturation is going to be great. Everything about taking photos on this device is amazing. and very, very easy. And as far as our video goes, we can shoot at 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per second. It does actually say we can shoot at 120 frames per second, but I haven't seen that option yet, but I will definitely update you guys if I see that. As far as a single selfie camera, we have an 8 megapixel f2.0 wide angle camera, and our selfies on this camera come out very nice as well. Very, very clear, nice colored photos. Average person is going to be absolutely satisfied with what they're getting. And we also have the ability to shoot at 1080p up to 30 frames per second as far as the video goes on the front facing camera. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put up some samples for you guys, and you guys can judge them for yourselves. I definitely want to get a conversation going in the comment section down below. All right, everyone, so this is the front facing camera. I believe it shoots at 1080p 30 frames per second, but it looks really nice. Stabilization is pretty decent as well. Colors are really nice. Switch to the rear facing camera. Now this is the 4K at 30 frames per second. I guess it only does 30 frames per second. We also have 1080p at 60 FPS that we're gonna try out right now, but this is how the 4K looks. Now this, I feel like, is the most impressive mode. This is 1080p, 60 frames per second. This looks really, really good. Go ahead and zoom. And this is the regular 1080p 30 frames per second, the rear facing camera. So what are my final thoughts on the Google Pixel 4a? I believe this device is unlike any other phone I've honestly reviewed. I feel like the people that are used to budget phones are going to have a pleasant surprise when they open up their Pixel 4a to see how good it actually runs. Now, the thing about the budget community that I feel like a lot of people don't understand is if you've had a budget phone for the longest time, you really don't know what a flagship feels like. And this is giving you that flagship feel, but in a $349 price tag. So I would definitely go ahead and pick this up if you guys are looking for a phone under $400. This is definitely the phone to get. Has a great camera, has great performance, has a good battery, and we have the latest Android software on a stock Android device, securing you 3 updates all the way up to Android 13. And also, this is going to be my new daily driver now, and the Pixel 4a is currently recording this video right here. Let's go ahead and turn on the regular mic. As you guys can hear, great stuff, Google. Absolutely approve this phone. Pixel 4a, budget phone of 2020. Peace out, tech gang.